And so when we do not have to fear our leaders, when we have that psychological safety, which is exactly the same thing as a circle of safety, then all of a sudden, trust, cooperation, and remarkable things happen.
사이먼 반갑습니다.
Nice to meet you, BK. Thanks for having me.
테드에서 골든 서클을 설명하는 동영상이 있었어요. 이게 한국에서 큰 화제였거든요. 리더들에게 how, what이 아닌 why에서 출발하라 라는 이야기는 정말 많은 인들의 행동을 바꿨습니다. 그래서 당신의 이름을 모르는 사람들조차 why가 있어 라고 그리는 동그라미를 그리는 이 장면만 보여줘도 아, 나 이거 알아 라고 할 정도로 굉장한 선풍적인 인기였습니다.
It's still amazing to me how that simple little idea spread around the world as it did. It was never intended to do that. It was an idea that was designed simply to help me. I lost my passion for my own work and I found myself in a dark place. And it was that little idea that restored my passion to levels that I'd never experienced before. And so I did what anybody would do when you discover something wonderful. I shared it with my friends, and my friends started to adopt it and use it themselves, and they started to see their passion rise, and they started making crazy life decisions like starting new businesses or changing jobs.
네, 그러면 제가 최근에 읽은 당신의 새로운 책 이야기를 좀 해보고 싶어요. 이 리더 디퍼런트. 여기서 제일 먼저 나왔던 얘기는 심리적 안정감이 사람들의 그 좋은 성과를 만드는데 가장 중요하다라는 이야기입니다. 회사의 리더가 Circle of Safety를 만드는 데 있어서 오늘 당장 시작할 수 있는 일이 있다면 그것은 무엇일까요?
So what I find so interesting about this subject is that people think that the people who work with us at work are different than the people we know anywhere else. The reality is 100% of employees are people. In other words, if you don't understand people, you don't understand business. And whether we're interacting with people in our personal lives or we're interacting with people in our professional lives, the way that we build trust is the same. You don't do it by constantly taking and taking and taking and putting yourself first. It's the same at work. If we constantly put our careers ahead of everybody else, we only concern ourselves with our safety and our happiness and our success, then what that does is it creates an environment in which other people will do the same. Leaders are in a position where they actually set the culture. So if the leader constantly prioritizes themselves, so will everybody else in the organization. And that doesn't make for a very strong, cooperative organization. But if people see that the leader is willing to sometimes sacrifice their interests for the good of the team, sometimes that means working late or making a short-term financial hit for the long-term gain, or just simply being empathetic, this is what starts to build trust. And when we build trust, we will offer our blood and sweat and tears to see that our leaders and our companies excel. We want to. It would make us proud to see them do well. The reality is, too many people go to work and fear their leaders, and they have to spend time protecting themselves from their leaders, which means they're taking time and energy away from doing their jobs. And so when we do not have to fear our leaders, when we have that psychological safety, which is exactly the same thing as a circle of safety, then all of a sudden, trust, cooperation, and remarkable things happen.
굉장히 중요한 얘기를 해주신 것 같아요. 저희가 회사에서 인재상을 이야기할 때 가장 먼저 이야기하는 것이 긍정적인 동료거든요. 네.
What you're bringing up is good leadership. A good leader will come back and say, I will listen to you more next time. And it's that relationship that's built. But the point is, we want to see our leaders succeed, and our leaders want to see us succeed. And it's that relationship. However, the leaders has to go first. This is why we call you leader. We don't call you leader because you're more senior in the hierarchy. That just gives you authority. We do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we don't trust them and we wouldn't follow them. And so it was required for the person in a position of leadership. We call you leader because you take those risks first. That's why you earn the higher salary and the additional perks. Those things don't come for free. In other words, I've never heard a great leader ever say, prove to me why I should trust you. But rather, the leader trusts first and then earns the trust back from the people. The leader sets out to see that their people are successful, and in return, the people will work tirelessly to see that the leader is successful.
모성애와 굉장히 많이 닮아 있다는 생각이 들어요. 실제로 그것과 연결해서 생각해 보신 적이 있나요?
the closest analogy to good leadership is good parenting, which is I will do everything that I can to see that the person in my care will be successful, that they will rise. Just like a good parent, a parent always feeds their child before they feed themselves. That's just how it works. And we want to make our parents proud, and we want to make our leaders proud when that relationship, when that dynamic exists.
저도 이제 2명의 아이가 있습니다. 이 말도 제대로 못하고 어떻게 해야 될지 모르는 아이들을 보면서 정말로 진심으로 이 아이들이 잘 되길 바라고 뭐라도 하나라도 더 해주고 싶은 마음이 들더라고요. 근데 그게 어느덧 직장으로까지 이어져서 사람들을 대할 때 말 못하는 아이도 이해하려고 노력하는데 이렇게 말을 잘하는 우리 팀원들의 이야기를 왜 들어주지 못할까? 마음이 넓어지고 따뜻해진다는 느낌이 들었습니다.
One of my favorite leaders, her name is Laurie Robinson. As no matter how senior she got, she always referred to those in her charge, those who were subordinate to her, as my kids, even if they were older than her. She always referred to them as my kids. I got to take care of my kids. So it's a great analogy.